Greetings and salutations. I'm Andrew from Team Respawn, and there is a new Halo MCC development blog update for May 2019. It's all centered about Halo Reach, as expected. So, what the big points of this blog post hits is showing off Halo Reach playing live on the Halo social stream yesterday. The progress being made with Halo Reach. There's some really nerdy, awesome stuff in here. Interviewing Ruffian Games. Those are the guys who are working with porting over Halo Reach to the Master Chief Collection, as well as talking about when you can actually play Halo Reach on the PC on the MCC, and the progression system that was talked about. And they actually showed off some screenshots, and it's really, really cool. So, hopefully this all sounds entertaining. If you want to read along, links in the description. And I will make a disclaimer that I don't think I'm going to be showing any gameplay of Reach on the MCC PC version because it hasn't been released to everyone just yet. So I don't want to get an accidental copyright strike. So first, they're talking about the Halo Reach matchmaking, and it starts off by saying adding an entire Halo title to the MCC creates a lots of new ground to cover and a lot of new challenges. Matchmaking is a key component as the primary destination for repeatable multiplayer experiences. And they're saying, pretty much what their goals are for bringing Halo Reach matchmaking to PC. And it says, provide a robust playlist for Reach players on day one. I think that is the most important thing. People really want a variety of playlists, whether it's through that social tool to get different matches or ranked. Highlighting the most unique and definitive Halo Reach game modes and maps. Respect legacy where possible, but intelligently diverge from legacy behavior where necessary to provide the best experience for the modern audience. And I think a lot of people are going to focus on this point in the Halo Wars, or not Halo Wars, the Halo YouTube community. I've seen a lot of people on YouTube and Twitter kind of negatively nitpicking the Master Chief Collection, saying, this isn't what Halo 2 was, or this isn't what Halo 1 looked like, and it didn't behave this way or that way. And in my opinion, I think it's unnecessary. I can understand the passion for wanting it to be the OG experience, how it was on PC or Xbox all those years ago, and they'll have visual differences between all the different versions of Halo that there are now. And I think that the Master Chief Collection is a unique Halo game where if it diverges from the legacy titles, that's okay. There's never been a point where I've been playing Halo 1 and I'm like, oh, gee, I really wish that this pistol didn't fire like this, or that assault rifle didn't look like that, or whatever they're nitpicking online. I don't get it, but I understand kind of why they want to show the differences, to try and create a reaction for people to want the games to look more and more like the legacy versions as possible. But 343 here is clearly saying that they're going to diverge from that when they can. And they said that one of the areas that they are going to diverge from is the bloom feature. Or not bloom, I'm so sorry. The motion blur feature in Halo Reach. And so in Halo Reach, in order for them to really achieve how awesome and great that the game looked, they had to do some sort of visual motion blurring. When you kind of turn on Halo Reach, you can see the sides kind of blur around. And that's really not required with the power of these consoles. So they're trying to remove the blur, and they say later in this blog that it looks so much better having the motion blur turned off. They're also saying they want to build a strong foundation for future matchmaking updates. So they say the goals are simple, but of course it's more complicated. And they say, what's so complicated about Reach? It says, like Halo 2 and Halo 4, Halo Reach saw the release of a title update relatively late in its lifespan. Which I do remember that. We played Halo Reach for years, and then title update came out, and it changed everything. This title update reduced bloom, added melee shield bleed through, and tweaked armor ability behavior. Unlike Halo 2 and Halo 4, Halo Reach title update was not applied globally. This meant that the game had variants were split between title update and vanilla settings in custom games and matchmaking. The split meant that Team Slayer used vanilla settings while Big Team Battle used title update settings. The difference in Bloom alone was just jarring across playlists with otherwise comparable game types and maps. So that's interesting. And so they talk about really what Bloom is, because I know that triggers a lot of people in the Halo community, and that's the one of the reasons why Halo Reach didn't have such a huge competitive scene. It says this creates the need for the standard bulk of Halo Reach playlists in the MCC. This does not mean clobbering specific experiences which players enjoyed from Reach, but it does mean a more unified approach to settings. It says the bulk of players' feedback we see, which we agree with internally, is that the title update settings are the preferred standard settings. So it looks like Halo Reach will be launching with Title Update, which is good. I really think Title Update made Halo Reach a lot better than previous to Title Update. And at first I was really confused when it came out. I was like, what is this TU stuff? And then once you finally get into it and kind of understand what the differences are, you're like, oh yeah, that sounds really cool. So it kind of talks about everything that'll be affected by title update, and for those of you who have played Halo Reach in the past, you kind of know all this. It does say in order to preserve balance between Spartans and Elites, they will not be applying title update settings to Invasion. So that's really cool to hear. Not only is Invasion really being sought after, and it's a big feature for Halo Reach, and I know a lot of people are excited to play it again, and I'm one of those people. But they're going to not just say, okay, they just check this box and add in Invasion. They're actually going to be like, okay, what makes Invasion fun? And they know that title update does not make it fun because of balance. So that's great to hear. So it says while matchmaking will focus on title update settings, both title update and vanilla variants will be built in and selectable from the custom game lobby. Anniversary map and game variants will also be available to players. So that's really cool to see too. If you don't know about Halo Reach's DLC, I believe it had 3 map packs. It had the Noble map pack, um, something else I'm forgetting, and then it had the anniversary map pack. And this anniversary map came from Halo 1 Anniversary. Halo CE Anniversary came out in 2011, if I remember right, because that was 10 years after Halo 1. And it had the maps. So instead of them saying 343 was the one who did Halo 1 Anniversary, by the way, it was their first Halo game. And they said, okay, instead of redoing the Halo 1 multiplayer, we're just going to offer Halo Reach with anniversary maps. And I think that was a good compromise, honestly, in hindsight. I think that was really good because if you release back-to-back Halo games with different multiplayers 1 year apart from each other, I think you're really going to split the online base. So it's going to include those maps. All the DLC maps, of course, will be included. It's funny, people are like, oh, there were map packs for that game? What are map packs? It's funny how times have changed. Firefight matchmaking. It says there will be matchmaking for Halo Reach for Firefight. There will be a small collection of Firefight playlists available, which will provide key experiences the mode has to offer. Co-op campaigns in Firefight have always been a synchronous model where clients have to wait for the host to simulate their actions, and it's kind of all nerdy stuff. They're saying Halo Reach and MCC will use a sync model, which should result in a smoother and more consistent online experience. So that's kind of cool. Talking about campaign playlists. In addition to matchmaking, we will also extend the campaign metagame experience through campaign playlists. And I'm really glad that they're doing this. And I've wanted them to update this feature in the MCC for a really long time, and it looks like this is the first time it's getting updated. It says, like other titles in the MCC, Reach will support playlists which will serve up missions and specific parts of missions as themed experiences. The standard per difficulty and lasso playlist will be on offer as here, as well as more specific scenarios centered around infantry engagements, vehicle engagements, and more. So there were, if you don't know what this is, there's a playlist thing in the MCC. It can be single player or co-op, and it's like, okay, let me play every mission in every Halo game that has a tank, or let me play the last level of every Halo game in order, or let me play all the sniping missions in Halo in order, or whatever. So I think that's really cool because you can kind of jump around and see how Halo's evolved with certain themes that have stuck through all the games. And I'm really glad that they didn't forget about that and they're adding Reach into it. Okay, next they're interviewing Ruffian Games. So Splash Damage is focused on bringing MCC to PC. Ruffian Games is helping bring Reach into MCC on Xbox. So they have a Q&A with that studio, and they're saying, how are things going? They're saying it's great. They wanted to remind everyone that Ruffian are the guys who originally rolled out ODST to the Master Chief Collection. So ODST did not launch with the MCC, and those were the guys who added it in. So they're stoked that they're going to be the team who's working on Reach, which is kind of cool, kind of came full circle, even though it took forever, but whatever. They're saying that they found some really interesting things in the code of Halo Reach. They said they didn't want to get in detail, but they said Halo Reach is very, very different in structure from all the other Halo titles that they've worked on. And I think that's kind of true. I mean, Halo Reach, I think, has a very different style and feel and just this overall different experience to it than the original trilogy of Halo games. And every Halo game is different. There's also a list, I think I just skipped over it, that shows all the different engines that are in the Master Chief Collection because each Halo game uses a different variation of an engine. And it's crazy how complicated that it is, and somehow they're getting it to work and work really well. The next question that 343 asks Ruffian is, what bits have been the most unique in trying to bring a much older game to life on new hardware with different features? And they said that Reach was originally developed with this specific visual style, and it was partly accomplished by having motion blur built into the game. And so this is what I was talking about earlier. It said it served its purpose back in the day, but in today's world of 4K and HDR, that works against what they're trying to accomplish. So they're pretty much saying that Reach looks far crisper, smoother, and more dynamic, especially on Xbox One X. They love to just put that in there. I think it's like a requirement. In every blog, they have to mention how great it looks on the X. But anyway, they're saying that taking the motion blur out, it looks really, really good. So that's cool to see. And it says, I think is this the last question? No, but one of the last questions is what's their priority? They're saying it's a boring answer, but it is a long list of bugs and hitting the high quality that they've set for it. And they're talking about some milestones for next, and they're just saying optimization, high quality work, and it seems like things are going really well from there, which is great. Next is the feature talking about scoops. This is always where it gets really nerdy, and they've shown a lot of screenshots of people working on MCC in the code, but of course they've blurred it out, so you can't really see what anything is. But on one of the pictures, there's actually some dude working, and he has his mouse on a Halo Wars 2 mouse pad, which I thought was hilarious because I've never seen that before, and it's just kind of ironic that they have Halo Wars 2 stuff in the office working on MCC, but it's like impossible to get anyone to work on Halo Wars 2 anymore. But that's a different story for another video. So some of the nerdy stuff they're talking about is the challenges with the FOV sliders. So if you really zoom out too far on the FOV, it looks really weird, and like your arm actually kind of comes off the screen, and it's kind of there's kind of this gap because really in the first person perspective, they don't need to generate your entire Spartan because you won't be able to see it, right? It's kind of pointless. So it only generates like your two arms and your two legs. And like when you get a turret or do anything, then it generates the whole entire Spartan armor so you can see yourself in the third person. So they're saying like when you zoom out, like you'll just see this really big gap, and it's just like this kind of half of an arm punching something. And then they're saying that they're working on the uncapped frame rate. Like it's easy to say like, oh, let's just take off the frame rate lock, but apparently it's really really hard to do. And they want to make sure that it's optimized for all the different kinds of PCs and graphics cards and monitors and refresh rates, and it's really complicated stuff. So it's pretty cool. Um, and then they're talking about the Xbox Live integration and how it's going with Steam. They respond with, "It's going well. It's the same Xbox Live service we're using on console, so we don't need to make a whole lot of changes. Most things just worked. It's one of the reasons we chose to leverage Xbox Live on PC. You get matchmaking, dedicated servers, achievements, stats, progression, all those things are already in place. The biggest challenge has been reconciling the social experience between Steam and Xbox Live. We want to make it easy for players coming from Steam who have Steam friends but may not have Xbox Live friends to find each other and play together easily." So I think that's kind of cool. And I think they did confirm, I don't see it in here, but they did confirm cross platform progression between all platforms. And I could be wrong, but I think that's what they said because it just makes sense. And I know a lot of people were talking about that. So I think they did confirm it. If they confirmed it would not be a thing, I think a lot more people would be enraged. So don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Lastly is my favorite part. It's Halo MCC's progression system. And so they have a few new screenshots here of a multiplayer menu, and it looks actually really cool. I don't really know what they're trying to show. It looks like it's like the stock of some sort of assault rifle or something. Um, it says, "Please note, season content contains placeholder art, names, descriptions, and unlocks that do not represent actual Halo Reach unlockables." So it's really just examples. So they're saying they want to add a progression system into Halo MCC. They kind of talked about this last month. And they want a compelling progression system and a series of interesting unlockables to strive for. We set out to include the same options that were found in Reach to the entire MCC while looking to modernize the progression system that existed back in the OG Halo Reach. So here are some details of what that system is. And it says that they're going to try and modernize but keep the Halo Reach progression legacy. Is one of our main goals was to separate the way that levels and credits are so closely tied together. Credits were used as a marker of level, and XP progression were also used to purchase unlockables. So the way that it worked in Halo Reach was that you shot people, you got like 5 credits. You completed challenges, you got more credits. And then those credits also kind of tied into XP and helped you level up, but you can use those credits to buy stuff. And that's why I loved Halo Reach so much. I mean, it was just so addicting to stay up and play. One more game, one more match. Let's finish this playlist so we can get this challenge done. I mean, I think I played the Halo Reach campaign more than any of the other Halo campaigns strictly because of the challenges that tied into XP, because I wanted to get some of the cool unlockables with the credits. They say we want to preserve the idea of earning in-game currency for playing and performing while making the distinction between level XP and currency clear for players. We also wanted to offer the Halo Reach unlockables as a goal to chase in our new take on this progression system. And so there's some screenshots here. I'll probably include a couple of them for you to look at it. I think it looks really cool. Um, so, starting with the release of Halo Reach, which is going to be the first one on PC, if you remember correctly, all matches played on dedicated servers will award Profile XP. This includes match-made PvP multiplayer and match-made PvE Firefight experiences. XP will be earned regardless of which specific Halo title is played. XP will be awarded based on medals earned in the match under the banner of 2 categories, performance and teamwork. At the end of the match, the category and XP values of each medal will be earned and displayed. So once players have earned enough, the player's level, rank, and title will change. And they're going to have seasons, which is cool. I'm sure you know all about that. And so where is it that they say actually some of the things that you can unlock? such as armor pieces, Halo Reach Firefight voices, nameplates, and emblems. But they do say we will not be applying this progression system to retroactively lock content that already exists in MCC today. Anything that is unlocked and will be unlocked, either available or achievements, will stay the same. So if you haven't unlocked any of those fancy nameplates for doing all 4 campaigns on Legendary or something, it'll stay that way. It won't be that you have to unlock them with credits or anything like that. So I guess that means that there's 2 ways of unlocking things. But I think that this new way is really, really cool. I really hope that you check out this blog post and scroll down to it because the screenshots look really cool. Talking about the engines, just how complicated it is, and that's pretty much it. It says that there's now 11 engines in the game. That's really crazy. Anyway, that was a mouthful. Please post your thoughts in the comments down below. They also said that there will be ability to play this if you want to play Halo Reach on the PC, on MCC. I believe they said it's in June. I think they said that they will have it on the show floor at E3. So it says the team has been working to bring a demo of Halo Reach for the PC for the show floor for E3. And then they say that flighting will be kicked off soon. They're showing the tip of the spear campaign with a mouse and keyboard, blah, blah, blah. Nonetheless, the first round of flighting on Steam is coming very, very soon. You should be able to play it in June. And so that's awesome. It's right around the corner. How exciting is that? That was a mouthful. Please post your thoughts in the comments down below. Love to hear what you have to say on it. And we'll be playing Halo MCC very soon. Thanks for watching. I'm Andrew from Team Respawn, and I'll see ya.